Today we're going to build a 4 metre Pentakis covered with twin wall polycarbonate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you everything all the way through, right the way from pattern making. I've got specialist videos that show you pattern making individually and cutting struts, but on this one I'll show you the whole, all the way through, fixing the material and building and everything. We're going to start with a sheet of plywood to cut the patterns off. We've got two patterns here, one triangle and one portion of a triangle. That's all there is in this style of dome. Right, what I've done first is I've marked a triangle and put two nails in here. I'll show you those now. There's one nail there. I've measured all the way along and put another nail in here. I've also made a piece of wood with two nails in, one there, to make a scratch stick, and then I'm going to mark this first triangle. Right. Okay, first I take these nails out because I don't need them in anymore. Out and out. Scratch stick and put. I'm going to tap this one through a little bit more. There you go. So you've got a nail sticking out at this end and a nail sticking out at that end. Pop one nail into the hole of the other nail, that you just had, and make a nice big scratch. And do the same with this one. Right, you can see now where the two scratches meet. Let's get my pen. Both scratches meet there. So now we have to draw a straight line up to that. I'm going to use my scratch stick again. If you are using sticks, just check that it's straight. Now you need to be a bit careful on this bit to get this exact. So you're going from the centre of the nail hole to the exact join. This side. Right, that's ready to jigsaw out. I'll jigsaw that out now. You'll notice that I haven't gone right to the edge. I've got a black line showing our triangle off this edge. Don't go straight to this edge because you can't measure so accurately off that. You can't put a pin in because it'll fall off the end. So just come a little tiny bit off, say 5 or 6 mil, and that will make triangles in the board. You don't have to cut right up to the line either. Leave 5 or 6 mil so that you've got 5 or 6 mil spare and you can clearly see your line. And also use a very thin pen. Don't use a big fat pen or a pencil with a blunt pencil. You're good to go then. I'll jigsaw that now. That's one pattern done. You can see that I've kept away from the edge, and you can see my black line clearly there. Let's make the next one now. Right, this is the second pattern. We get the first pattern as well. You can see that the second pattern is the same as the first one. Let's start on there, but it's been cut down here. Plans will tell you this measurement here, so you're effectively making two like this, but just cutting one down. That's all the patterns you need for this dome. Timber. I'm using 2x2. It's 45 millimeters. I'm just going to check that for you. There we go. 45 mil thick. And I'm going to cut it down here on the angle with the. So I get two parts out of each one. I get two out of it. I'm using 4.8 meter lengths. So let's look at the quantities. I can get 3 lengths out of each full length, so that means 1 triangle per length. This dome needs 25 full-size triangles and 8 smaller ones, so let's call it 33. So we need 33 lengths of 2x2. Remember, we're getting 2 out of each length, so we can half that, 15, 16 say. Let's cut 17 lengths to be sure, and that gives us plenty for one dome. That's 17 lengths for the whole dome. Hope that makes sense. Right, we'll set the saw up for the angle that we need, the bevel angle that we need to cut. I've got one of these digital angle gauges, and I've set the angle on here. You need to set it at 90 and then take away the angle that you need. Now on your saw, see if you can. That's my gauge. Hold on, see if I can get this right. This is my gauge. You can just see in there my pointer. I've set that to the angle first, so I know it's roughly right. But then, what I've done, to check that, we take the angle gauge and we line that up, because this is more accurate than check there that the saw is exactly right. I don't know if I'm getting in the way there or not, but the saw blade then, we can check that up with here to make sure it's exactly right, because this will get within half a degree, but an angle gauge is a bit more accurate. So use that to just to double check everything. Right, it's now time to check everything. Get your moulding and check your angles. that's right. Check your triangles, measure these lines again and just double check them that they're all where they should be. And once you've done that, you can then cut all the rest of your wood here. Oh my god. Alright. Right, this pattern is an isosceles triangle, so these ends are both the same. So this angle and this angle are the same, which means that as we layer the wood round, this one and an edge one will be the same angle. So we need to cut 2 struts for each triangle with this angle. I'm going to set the saw up to do that now. That's the angle we have. I'll just set that on the saw and set that up against my guide. You could use the angles shown on the plans, but I find it's more accurate if you actually use a gauge rather than the angles on here, because they're not packed. You know, there's 1 degree in between. There's a good space in between. It's much more accurate. Right, I'll cut the first one now. And there's the earmuffs. Right. What I did was I pen marked roughly where the angle is, so I can guess it's going to be on that end at that angle. Now this is the slopey end here, so it wouldn't fit against my measure here. So I've put a piece of moulding on with the slope going the opposite way, so that when I put that on, it's square. All we'll have to do is nip the ends off. There's no particular measurement to it, as long as we nip the ends off with that measurement. There's 50 of these to do, because we're making 25 big triangles and there's 2 struts with this angle on, so that's 50 struts to cut this way. I'm going to cut 3 or 4 extra because I'm going to put a couple of windows in, so you need the same triangle for a window. So I'm going to put at least 2 windows in, so I'll probably do 3 or 4 pieces extra. That's our square section, and we're going to use that to build the jig. So we've done the 2 bottom corners. Now we do exactly the same with the top corner. We'll just set our angle gauge up and cut. We know we need 25 triangles, so we need 25 more lengths with this new angle on. I'll do that now. Right, what I've done here is I've taken the moulding with the end cuts on, and I'll put that on the line. I'll just spin this around. There we go. And I put it exactly on the line. Then I put the block of wood behind, slid it behind, and I've screwed it underneath. So we can take these off now, like that. and that's our line there. You'll notice when I take all of these off, come on, because of the lapping, you've got these bits sticking out, these bits here sticking out, so I'm just going to mark them really carefully and cut them off. Okay, we're going to make our first frame. Got some big screws and some cramps. What we do is we put a piece on here, slide that up it and press, and then clamp round from here. Got another 2 pieces to go on. This one goes here. We're using a big old screw with just one. Right, we've made the jig now from the pattern. And you noticed on this one I've got 3 struts. This has a slightly different angle to these two. This one here and this one here are the same. Right, now this frame we're covering this in twin wall polycarbonate, and this gap is a bit too big. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some extra struts in here to make the triangles smaller. You end up with is, that's the right way up, is one side on the bottom, that's your 2 even sides, and you have this triangular frame in the middle. Right, we finished the main triangles. Now what we need to look at is the second triangle jig. What we'll do is, I'll put this one away. Right, I've done pretty much exactly the same with this. There we go. It's got a 2x2 frame. I use 2x2 because I make these professionally and I don't want the patterns to bend or warp or anything like that. Nice dry 2x2, and it's been planed and straight edged. You don't have to make it, I'll use 1/2 inch pliers, so you don't have to make it this heavy duty, but I need to because I'm making them all the time. Right, the half triangle is done exactly the same way as the other triangle, but there is a very important difference. Now, let me explain. This is basically the same as one of those triangles, but it's been cut down. So this side is the same as this side on the old triangles, but this is a cut. So this is where we cut down. Now it's very important on this that you put the timber that way, which is the correct way, for here and here, and this cut, it's turned upside down like that. So this is upside down moulding on here. What I'll do is I'll cut this one, make this one and show you. I've screwed it together already, I've just got to trim the ends. So this is our small triangle. I'm just going to show you. Get one of these frames out. So I made one of these earlier. I'll put it the right way up so that you're viewing it the same way as I am. That's the what I call the bottom here. Now this triangle here is exactly the same as that one, but it's been cut across here. Now you need to make 4 this way and 4 that way. We call these left and right hand sided. To make the left hand sided, we'll go back to this big pattern now. You put to make the left hand side one, you put the moulding on upside down. To make a right hand side one, you put it on the right way up. Now what I call upside down is that thick piece to the top, thin piece to the bottom. That's upside down. That's the correct way around. Thick piece to the bottom, thin piece to the top. So when you're making a left hand one, you do this is upside down, this one's upside down here, and this one is the right way up, because this cut is always the opposite to these two. It's not that difficult, I'll show you exactly in the plans, but it takes a bit of getting your head round. So we're going to make a left hand one, these are upside down, this is the right way up. Making a right hand one, these are the right way up, and this one's upside down. Simple.